Good morning from Maine. This is Trisha at Whispering Pines Micro Farm. This is a follow-up video to the Lionhead kit posing practice video that we did about 3 weeks ago. So this little girl is one of those kits. I'm going to show you 4 kits this morning. 3 of them, or actually 4 of them were on the last, all 4 of them were on the last video. They were 3 weeks old. And so this little girl is the chestnut doe. That was the first one that we did in the last video. 3 weeks makes a huge difference, as you can see if you watch the last video. She is developing very, very nicely. I'm very happy with her. I'm very happy with how high she's posing. I like this a lot. This is what I call the proud posers, as I mentioned in the last video. So she is just turning 6 weeks old. As you can see, she is starting to shed out in the back a little bit. You can see the definition of her in her face, and we're not going to have any kind of a break really going on this early. I don't really want to break too soon because that might affect their senior showing career. So we'll see how she does with that. Loving the ears. You can see how very clean her ears are, and open. I like a open fox ear is what I call it, and super clean on these ears, which is something that I strive for in my program. Ears are very important to me. I think it really affects the look of the rabbit and the overall balanced look of the rabbit. She is doing fabulous. This is literally the first time I have taken them out for posing practice in 3 weeks. I do take them out occasionally to check their bums and make sure that they're doing good and not getting dirty little bums, which can happen because they are so foo-fooey and furry. And we don't want that to happen. But I haven't actually done any posing practice for the 3 weeks, and I did that on purpose because sometimes life gets in the way, and you know, if you're a mom or you're full-time, you work full-time, you're in school, you know, you can't be posing bunnies all the time. So this just goes to show that very little practice is needed. And I think it's important to realize that one of the reasons that the practice isn't necessary all the time has to do with the quality of the rabbit. If they are able to pose easily, then it means their body structure is allowing them to do so. As you can see, she's very comfortable. Even when she's still in this state, she lowered her head, but she didn't move her body, meaning that she's comfortable like this, which is a really good thing. I find personally that the harder it is to get them into the pose, it usually means that there's something structurally not quite right. And as you can see, I'm not holding her. I'm not holding under her chin. My hand's not in her front of her face at this point. She's 6 weeks old. She should be able to do this on her own if she's capable of it bodily. So here's my hands. I'm moving my hands away. I'm behind the camera now. She's posing beautifully. I am in love with this little girl. If I had to critique her, my critique right now on her is I'm not happy that she doesn't have more defined eye rings. A chestnut should have really defined eye rings. I have another, where's my other little girl? I have another little doe that has much better eye rings, but she is a doll, and I am looking forward to putting her on the show table once she matures, and so that's not going to hold me back at all. With the chestnuts, it is not, for those who do not know, chestnuts are not in a recognized variety by ARBA, the American Rabbit Breeders Association, yet, but it still is a color that I love, and I'm working on it and developing it in hopes that within a few years it will be recognized. And in order to be recognized, we do have to have show quality rabbits existing before they're going to be able to be recognized. So one of the things that has come up in the chestnut world, chestnut is part of the agouti color family, if for anyone interested in the genetic aspect, and so is the lightness and darkness of the chestnut. So she would probably be considered dark, and so that's something that once the standard is decided and written, that will have to be decided how much rufous, which is redness, that you want to see, or how dark is it. Okay, we blow on them to see how the rings are. you know, she could be better. She definitely could be better. But you build the barn first, as they say, and then you color it. So I'm very happy with my little barn right here. She's doing awesome. Again, boom, right there. She's right into that little pose. You know, she can be, you know, moved around, but this is a 6-week-old baby. So I'm very, very happy with her. So that's an update. I still need a name for her. It takes me a while for some reason to get my names going. And once I 100% decide that I'm keeping them is when I actually decide to name them. But I am very, very happy with this little mamas. And I'm going to now get out one of her litter mates, and we'll go from there. Okay, so this is the litter mate to the little chestnut that you just saw. It's a little black buck. He's being very inquisitive. Get back over here, buddy. He too is turning out very, very nice. He's a little bit smaller than his sister. Not as calm. He's a little boy. Sometimes the boys tend to be a little more curious. We're going to see how fast he'll sit up into his pose. Hey, buddy. He did really well last time. There we go. Now he has a different body shape than his sister. I think he's a little bit longer in the back. You can see how he sits up. He sits up nice and tall, but he's got a longer back going on here, in my opinion. Again, very, very clean ears. Nice open fox ears. Love that. Oop, there we go, buddy. We have a little curious one here. He's like, what is going on? They are turning 6 weeks, so I am going to get ready to wean them from mama, because I need to get another litter out of her. He definitely has a different body shape than his sister, but he is looking good. I'm happy with him. I love his wide face. He's not, his ears actually are a little bit shorter than hers, I think, which I'm happy about. He's not showing his signs of shedding yet. You can see actually the outline in the face, but in a little bit of the saddle. But blacks are hard. Blacks and Roux are hard to actually see until they're a little bit more mature. But wow, right into that little pose. Good boys. Good boys. Yes, I'm very, very happy with him. I'm loving his short little front legs. Let's see if I can get a side view here. It's not easy doing this with one person. I need a cameraman or woman. There we go. I am very happy with him. I plan on keeping this whole litter and see where we wind up on the show table, how they wind up on the show table next season, which is actually not far away at all, a couple months here. So 6 weeks old, and again, the last time he was posing was 3 weeks ago when he was 3 weeks old. So this is just to show that when the quality is there, then, you know, it's much easier. If they're too long limbed, if they're too long back, if they have the dippity do going on behind their neck, they just can't pose this easily. And if it takes a lot of work and they don't hold it very long, then that's probably something that needs to be addressed or looked at and to be honest about. We all start out somewhere. Believe me, my first Lionheads were nothing like this. You know, but it's a learning process. It's definitely a learning process. But I will say I was very, very lucky. I have some great mentors. Couture Lionheads in New Hampshire is a mentor of mine, and she is amazing. And a lot of her bloodlines are here in my barn. They're basically, I would say, pretty much the foundation of my barn is Couture. But she's worked many years to get to where she is as well. And it's better to get the best that you can once you know what you're looking for. That was my problem. I had no clue what I was doing in the beginning, and didn't get the best quality that I should have. So anyway, this little guy is going to stay right here. I'm very excited about him as well. And I'm going to go get his little sister, who is a little bit of a firecracker. She's very cheeky, and which you saw in the last video. So let's get her out and see how she's going to behave today. So this little girl I believe I called her Spitz last time. She's very spitzy. she's not as calm as her brother and sister, that's for sure. She is a chinchilla by color. It's kind of harder to see the chinchilla markings now because she is fuzzed out. But you can see on the ears that she's a chinchilla. You can see there, hopefully. Okay. She's the smallest. She's definitely the smallest. And last time, I believe I did say that she was my least favorite of the three as far as her body structure goes. She's not as spazzy as she was last time. Thank goodness she's calmed down a little bit. We moved them into this barn out of the nursery barn recently. So I think they got used to some more noises and things, and she's not quite as jumpy. She is very, very cute. Again, I'm not happy with the lack of eye circles on her. She is Chinchilla is also part of the agouti family, which needs those eye circles and better rings. But again, build the barn and then paint it, right? So here we go. Let's see how she's going to do. I think we're going to see a big difference here with her other siblings. Both the other two, the black buck and the little chestnut, were what I call proud posers. They hold that head up high. She's not able to do that, and it has to do with her body shape. She will sit up in a pose, but she has a dippity-doo, which I pointed out last time. I can put 2 fingers, well, I'll say 2.5 fingers. I have fat fingers, at her neck, and it is creating a structure for her where her carriage is low, is what I consider low. She doesn't want to go up into that pose as easily as her siblings did, and I believe wholeheartedly it's because she just doesn't have the structure for it. It's not a temperament thing. At this point, I mean, she's not spazzing out. She's being fine, and I think it's more of you want to come and see the camera, of just her structure's not there. Now, is she a bad bunny? No, not at all. Compared to, a lot of past litters that I've had, she's great. But in comparison to her litter mates, she just doesn't have it. And I feared this, and I was hoping to be wrong. Believe me, I would love nothing more to be wrong. But she just doesn't have the structure there to hold that pose. Her little legs, I don't know what's going on here. She's got nice short little legs. She just doesn't have, she cannot, that's it. That's as high as her head wants to go for her based on the structure of her body. She's nice and compact. I am keeping her. I'm going to grow her out completely. I definitely want to see where we go with her. I would use her in a brood program. I don't anticipate putting her on a show table, just because she can't get up in that proud pose. That might change as she grows. I'm not saying that it won't, and I'm sure there's breeders saying, you're making decisions too early. You're not, you have to wait until they're 12 weeks old before you know what you have. And yeah, and that is true, but you can start to see as early as 3 weeks, as I mentioned in my last video. And again, here she is. Now she's posed, but you can see how low she is as compared to her brother and sister were up nice and high. And she just doesn't have the capability. And it's just amazing that you can have, the same litter, same sire, same dam, same birthday, and you can have such a difference in the quality. But again, I am going to keep her. She's adorable. Love the clean ears. But even her ear shape is different from her siblings. If you can see, her ears are not as open. They're more, they're longer for some reason. She's just a different little bunny. She's super cute though. And like I said, I am definitely going to keep her and see. Oh, she's forward now. I don't know if you can see though. Right there, that dippity-doo. But like I said, I may use her for brood. With the right buck, she might be able to give me some nice babies. The only reason that I'm keeping her is because of her color too. she's not horrible. She's not great. She's not show quality, but I would put her as brood quality. Now, some breeders will say, well, your brood does should be retired show does, and that's great. A lot of people go that route, but because I am working on agouti colors, and there aren't very many around, you know, that I can get my hands on that someone's already been working on for a few generations, this is what I'm working with. Again, she's not horrible, but she definitely needs some improvements. So I'm not going to mess with her too much because I just don't think she can do it, and I'm not going to stress her out over it. Hi, mamas. But she's much calmer than the last time we had her out on the table, that's for sure, which I'm very, very happy about. Alright, so I'm going to put her back, and I'm going to go get the little white Roux buck, who is from a different litter, and he's a little bit older. Okay, so here is the little Roux buck that I showed you last time, and I'm trying to remember how old he is. I should have checked my records. I believe he's around 8, maybe 9 weeks now. I think he was about 6 weeks before. So anyway, here he is. He's changed a lot, as you can see, and I totally messed up his ear tattoo, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But I'm usually really good at that, so I'm aggravated with myself a lot. So, okay, so he was a surprise. He was definitely a surprise. He is an agouti Roux, which means that he was bred into a litter, part of my agouti program, and he popped out as a Roux. There is a Roux in his sire's side, but his mother is actually a black chin, which I was really, really surprised to see a little Roux in there. But a happy surprise. And then I had not planned to keep him because the purpose of the breeding was to get some agouti babies. And I did get a chestnut, but the markings on the chestnut just were not. It was far too dark. It didn't have the circles at all. It wasn't a good breeding. I will not repeat that breeding, obviously. So those got petted out. So actually the whole litter got petted out except for him, because when I got him out to do some posing practice and to take pictures with the intent of offering him as a pet, I looked at the pictures and I was like, oh wait, I need to check him out a little bit more. So I really liked how he was looking, and but he's changed a lot in the last 3 weeks, I will say, and I actually like him a little less than I did 3 weeks ago, and I'll show you why. One is his face, as you can see, is not as wide as I would like it to be. It's a little narrow. His dam is a brood, and she has a narrow face. Again, she's only in the program because she's a black chin, and that's something that's not easy to get your hands on. And his ears are longer than ears that I personally would like. They're turning out to be a little bit longer. They're not bad, but they're not what I personally would want. He is still able to get up into a nice little pose. Whoop. Okay, buddy. See the bucks, sometimes these boys, they're very curious. I like, he's still compact. I am still going to keep him. I'm going to put him on the show table and just see how he does. A lot of times you don't know what you got until you get him on a table with some other breeders for comparison. There's been there's times when you think, oh, they're not that great, and then they win. So which is always a happy thing. So I do still like him a lot, but again, you can see that his face is actually narrower than the last litter that we just looked at. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with him. He's very well balanced. His ears are longer than I like, but they actually balance out well. It's not horrible. He is getting his little saddle here. It'll be a while before he gets a break, which is fine by me. I like it to take a little bit. Again, so hopefully we'll get a little bit of a senior career if he does well on the table as a junior. I don't know what I'll do with him if he doesn't do well. I'll probably pet him out if he doesn't do well. I don't need him for my breeding program because he's got the agouti background. He wouldn't fit into my Roux program. I don't want to have a bunch of Roux with agouti behind them. But this is just to show you the difference that 3 weeks can make, and which is a huge difference. And we'll try again in a couple weeks to see how all of them are coming along. And I hope that this helps some new ones. I know that for me, sometimes it's easier to see things than it is to just read about it. Sometimes there's a lot of terminology used that if you're new, you have no idea what it is. And it's just easier to have someone talk about it, explain it, and show it. So I hope that the video helps. He still poses up nicely, I have to say. He doesn't hold his head as high as I would like, but his body's a little more compact back here, but he's still not bad. He's still not bad. He's still holding a high head for his body type. So again, this is Trisha at Whispering Pines up in Maine. We are enjoying ridiculously mild weather. We've had no snow, just a couple sprinkles, and then quickly gone. It rained horribly last night, but it feels like a fall morning. It doesn't even feel like winter. So I hope everyone is having fun with their Lionhead bunnies, and if you have any questions, you can find me on Facebook under Whispering Pines Micro Farm, and I'm happy to answer any questions. And this is basically for new people. There's a lot of breeders out there who have all kinds of opinions. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but if you're new, I hope that it helps you a little bit. And have a safe and happy winter holiday, and I will be back with a new video in a couple weeks, and we'll see how these babies are doing.